Hey everybody, Steve here at the Illinois Recording Studio again. I have a wonderful, wonderful, just incredible historical piece here. Such a rare, just such a rare beast. And I'm very fortunate to have it, and somebody will be very fortunate to have it as well. This is a superbly rare 4x14 Gretsch snare drum. It's the Max Roach model, Cadillac Green, 24 karat gold hardware. 4x14 obviously, with the Max Roach badge, the Gretsch round badge, but also the Max Roach badge. Gretsch made a version of this drum for Max Roach, and the very first version had a different strainer than this microsensitive that you see here. And then shortly thereafter, the drum was made with the microsensitive strainer. You'll notice that the lugs are these single node lugs that were actually taken from the design that Gretsch used on the Gretsch Gladstone drums in the 40s. So this is a single node lug. Later on, this drum became the progressive jazz model, had a cast lug, this was gone, had a microsensitive strainer, and of course was not Cadillac Green and wasn't gold hardware. So for this particular drum, the important thing to remember is several different things. One is they're exceedingly rare. I know of two original drums, 100% original. I know of one drum that is original, however, all the gold hardware has been replated. And I know of, unfortunately, several fakes, where people have cut down shells and, repainted the shells and kind of replated hardware, not used these lugs, but anyway, that's another whole story you don't need. Now, one of the amazing things about this is, not only is it exceedingly rare, it's fully original in terms of the finish, the plating, everything on it. The grommet on this one is, Gretsch did grommets a couple different ways. One was a grommet that had a very smooth inside, around the inside of the shell, and then for a period of time, right around this era, some of the grommets on the snares were such that they splayed out on the inside and folded back against the shell in little tabs, of which this drum has. And I have seen on other drums of this example of this era as well. So that's all there. It's all original, and the strainer has natural wear on it. Gold plating was very thin at that point in time, so the oils from your skin were going to make that gold deteriorate. This is all natural. It is what it is. This is the Gretsch first version of the what eventually became die-cast rims. So they're a little heavier here and still retain the stick chopper top up here. It's a 3-ply shell. Again, and it also has tone control as well, which is over here, and of course the standard butt plate. Now the other thing about these drums, 4x14 Gretsch drums are hugely boxy drums. 1 out of maybe 20 will actually sound good because the microsensitive strainer was never meant to work on a drum this shallow. And they were going to make a version that was shorter, but they decided there wasn't enough of a market for 4-inch deep drums, so they abandoned that. So the one thing that this drum does that other drums don't do is, number one, it sounds unbelievable, and I'm going to show you how great it sounds. Boxiness is not anything in this drum. This is just a pure, great killing drum. It does retain one of the characteristic features of the microsensitive strainer on a 4x14, and that is it does not fully release the wires on the bottom. So even if you've got the wires fully released, you got a little bit of snare sound there. Actually, that's a pretty good sounding snare part. But that's the only issue with the entire drum. And like I said to one of the guys today, I don't think anybody's taken this to the trio gig at the Holiday Inn with a vocalist where you got to worry about snare vibration. It's going into a collection. But the beautiful part is if you want to play this drum, it sounds incredible. But right now, I'm going to do a few different things with this. And keep in mind, this strainer, microsensitive strainer, had this butt piece, and this butt piece has adjustments. And this side was made for what we call the macro adjustments. The micro adjustments were designed to be made from the strainer side. So I'm going to give you some examples playing on it, adjusting it differently from both sides to give you a sense for just how great this drum sounds. So here we go. Here's a few. Now, going to tighten it up on the snare side. Tighten it up even more. Now, let's take it down over here. I'm going to play around with this and just move it around and do a little adjustment here. So I'm going to run down there. I'm going to switch it over a little bit here, turn this down a little. Turn up a little bit here. A little more. Gives you a few ideas as to how this drum can sound. Again, the sensitivity is great all across the drum. I did very little in the way of tuning. As a matter of fact, I did nothing in the way of tuning on this other than playing around with the snares a little bit. So it's got great versatility. It's an insanely rare collector piece. And the wear on the gold, I'll tell you one thing. If you find examples of this, if someone is trying to sell you an example of this and it looks factory new, 99% of the time it's been repainted and replated. This is the real deal, and how it's going to look. Something that was made in 1950, it's going to look like this when it was gold plated. At this point in time, this is how it's going to look. So anyway, contact me, vintagedrums@aol.com. We can talk about it. Thanks.